Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, a grandmother murdered.
Your son stabbed your mother.
He killed your mom.
A daughter estranged.
Stop.
You don't have to stop. You can say whatever you want.
The way that she's talking to me, I'm not receptive to it at all.
That's a little self-righteous for somebody that has done the things that you have done as a parent.
Listen, I don't have to be here admitting that I abused my child, okay?
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Well, Aaliyah and her daughter Jocelyn look like a picture-perfect family, right? Jocelyn says that's exactly what Aaliyah wants people to think. But the reality is much darker. Jocelyn says that she remembers her mom's unpredictable and abusive behavior all the way back to 4 years old, including punches to the head, forced haircuts that punctured her skin, and her mother's most used tool, a belt. Now, Leah doesn't deny using corporal punishment, but did her discipline cross the line into abuse? Jocelyn believes her mother's beatings are the reason her brother is in jail. In a tragic twist to this dysfunctional family, in 2012, Jocelyn's brother murdered their grandmother. Now, Jocelyn and Aaliyah say that incident tore their family further apart, and Jocelyn wrote to me desperate for help. Take a look.
My earliest memory of abuse was when I was 4 years old. My mom had locked me in my room, and when I was trying to get out, she kicked me in my face. The abuse got worse as I got older. When I was in the 5th grade, I was getting hit with the belt, and the middle part hit me in the eye. When she gets like that, she blacks out, and she just kept hitting me and punching me. There was a lot of moments where I felt that she really could have maybe even killed me. One day when I was 7, she had punched me in my forehead with a ring on, and the ring had left a knot on my forehead. My mom has broken her nails off by hitting and punching and slapping me. Whenever someone would find out about my mom beating me and mention it to her, she would get angry and she would beat me again. My mom always put her hand over my mouth. There would be times where I had to bite her to get her hand off. In 8th grade, I came home with a progress report that said I was failing. My mother started to yell and beat me, grab my hair, smack me, punch me, hit me with the belt, and then she started pouring a bottle of hot sauce down my throat. I have drawn blood from my mouth from her punches. I've gotten bruises on my forehead, around my eyebrow, and my high cheekbone. One night when I was a freshman in high school, me and my mom had gotten in a fight. My mom was drunk, and she took some scissors and started chopping my hair off. My neck was bleeding. When she was done cutting my hair, the top was completely gone. It was like a 4-year-old had cut a rag doll's hair. She held me by the cheeks, and she made me look in the mirror and tell myself how ugly I was. I remember telling myself that I was ugly. No, I stopped. That was our last major blowout. I was 15 when I moved out. My mom knows that in her heart that this was not discipline, that this was abuse. Now that I have a 2-month-old daughter, I can't imagine treating her the way my mom treated me, ever.
Well, Aaliyah says Jocelyn isn't willing to hear any apologies. And, well, she just says she just needs to get over it.
My relationship with my daughter is very volatile. Whether she loves me or she hates me, I beat Jocelyn, yes. I relied on corporal punishment because that was how I was raised. Corporal punishment to me was disciplining your child with a belt or with your hand or with a switch. The physical abuse that I received from my mother was way more than getting beat with a belt or being disciplined. I have tried to apologize to my daughter immensely. I realize now that the punishment didn't always fit the crime. She holds so much resentment and hurt towards me that she's not able to let it go no matter what I do. I don't feel that her childhood was horrible, but that's not for me to say, that's for her to say, because I'm sure that my mother thought that I had a good childhood, and that wasn't the case.
Aaliyah, tell me what your hope is in being here today.
I would like to clear some of this up because some of the things that I just heard were not true.
Okay, let's clear it up.
I never, one of the things that you said is that I kicked you in your face. I have never kicked you in your face. I am guilty of doing some of the other things, but I did not kick you in your face.
When you do stuff like that, like, you don't even know that you're doing it.
Would you like to tell Dr. Phil what had happened before I cut your hair? Because it seems to me that what you're saying is I just randomly would beat you. And that's not what was going on.
I didn't just randomly
I'm not saying that it was, I'm not saying that what I did wasn't abusive to you, okay? What I was doing is I felt at the time I was disciplining you, and I have continuously told you that. You have noticed that there is a big change in the mother that I was to you and Andrew. I was 17 years old.
You were not 17 when I was 15 years old.
Okay.
Well, how do you feel about the things that crossed the line? What do you think did cross the line?
I think that cutting her hair, I think definitely cutting her hair was crossing the line, but I'd also like to correct that. I was not drinking when that happened. I had spent the whole day looking for you after you...
You drinking the night before that it happened, which is why I ran away, because you were drinking and we got in an argument.
That's not true, Jocelyn.
That is so true.
Stop, please.
You don't have to stop. You can say whatever you want.
Okay, go on.
And so can you. You can say whatever you want.
No,
I mean,
I'll go on ahead and let her.
Say whatever you
I will
want.
go on ahead and let her finish.
Okay, the night before, you were drinking and you were going out to a party and you got mad at me.
You took off and you left your baby sister.
I've never left the house.
Okay, I'm not going to do this because if you're just going to lie and you're not going to tell the truth, it makes it difficult for me to talk to you.
So I just randomly ran away?
Okay, talk to me then.
I'll talk to you.
And let me tell you what Jocelyn said that stuck out to me, because I wrote some of these down.
Right.
She says that you would hit her and her brother with belts and fists if they answered a homework question wrong.
That's not true. It had to do with their report cards. If they got Fs on their report cards, they did get hit with a belt, yes.
Okay, but we were not able to go to you with help with homework because you would hit us if we got an answer wrong.
That's not true.
What was the threshold at which you would hit one of them with a fist?
It was in their arm. I would punch them in their arm when they started getting older, because at some point they became, oh, this doesn't move. At some point, they became too big to really be, you know, hit with the belt all the time. And so it was, yes, I would punch them in their arm, like a Charlie horse in the arm.
Do you remember punching her in the forehead while you were wearing a ring?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I remember doing that, yes.
Okay, that's not an arm.
But you just said you just hit us in the arm, and that was when we got older. I was 7 when that happened.
Because there's a school record about that.
Listen, if I'm saying that I did it, accept it. Can you accept my acknowledgement of these behaviors? If I can accept that some of the things that are going on are my fault, okay?
Okay, I am accepting that, but I'm pointing something out to you that, again, like, you're not seeing.
Okay.
Okay, so you did punch her in the forehead wearing a ring, because we have a school record about that.
Yes.
So that's
I don't
different.
know that you have a school record about
That's different than what you said. You said you punched her in the arm.
I did punch her in her arm. I don't recall the punching of the head, but yes, I did.
Well, you just told me.
did.
You just told me you did.
I just said I think that I did.
I mean, you just said you remembered punching her in the forehead.
Yes.
And then you said you didn't remember punching her in the forehead.
Vaguely. Listen, it is what it is, okay? I don't have to be here admitting that I abused my child, okay?
Talk to me. Did you...
You should be telling the truth, Jocelyn.
I'm sorry? I didn't hear you.
I told my daughter that she should be telling the truth about this if I am.
Okay, well, let's do that. Let's have some truth-telling here. Did you tell her that you wanted to throw her out of the building and kill her?
No, I never told her that.
That happened the night before when you were drunk.
I never said that to you, ever.
That was why I ran away.
I never
called her right
told
after.
you this, Jocelyn. You seem to exaggerate a lot of things and you embellish.
Your son, Andrew,
Right.
just a few years ago, stabbed and killed your mother.
Absolutely,
correct? And by the way, I'm very, very sorry for your loss.
I didn't just lose my mother, I lost my son.
We're going to talk about why Jocelyn blames her mother for her brother taking a knife and stabbing their grandmother to death. We'll be right back.
The way my mom treated my brother is definitely what caused him to snap.
I got to watch the life literally drain from my son's face. I completely annihilated him.
And later,
I'm not going to keep apologizing. I'm not going to keep crying over this because it gets old and it hurts.
So how do you think I feel?
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. How did this all-American athlete
I've been living on the street.
become a homeless wannabe rapper?
Living in this maze.
He's into rap now?
Like a delusional daze.
He's a rapper?
I'm destined for greatness. He's eating out of garbage cans.
Does he want to get help, or is he choosing to be homeless?
Handsome and hard up.
I don't think anything needs to be changed.
don't get defensive about it,
Of course not, my brother.
but you flashed into it pretty quick, my brother.
That's tomorrow.
Jocelyn says that once she got out of her mother Aaliyah's home, her brother began to experience the full brunt of Aaliyah's unpredictable rage. Now, Jocelyn suspects that was the spark that led to an unimaginable family tragedy.
After I moved out, my brother was left with her by himself. He got all of the negative attention, what I had been experiencing my whole life.
I didn't realize that my son was having problems. I said some very hurtful things when he got his last report card and told him that he was going to be a piece of
I saw my mom hit his head against the wall and hit his hands with the belt.
I got to watch the life literally drain from my son's face. I completely annihilated him.
When my brother finally did move out, that was his breaking point. My brother couldn't take my mom's abuse anymore. The way my mom treated him is definitely what caused him to snap.
A woman's body was found inside her home.
Police say that she and her grandson lived together.
Police arrested Donna Tennant's own grandson, 17-year-old Andrew Johnson.
He is now accused of killing his own grandmother.
I believe that my mother's murder could have been prevented had the adults communicated with each other. If I had had any say about it, I would have never put my son in my mother's home due to what I had experienced.
My mom had everything to do with the rage that was in my brother.
I have been ostracized from my family because I raised the monster that murdered our mom.
What do you think went wrong there?
Honestly, I haven't, oh my God, you guys are making me sick with this. Listen, I came from a very abusive home, and I was removed from my home at the age of 10, and I did not fully return, and I did everything that I possibly could to raise my children the best that I could. And I have apologized to Jocelyn. However, I do have a very hard time when she embellishes or when she exaggerates situations. I think that what happened with my son that people don't know is that Andrew was in my care up until the age of 15. He was a cadet in the ROTC. He was cadet of the month. He was a good kid. He was well liked. And you weren't there. You were not in our home. And you didn't talk to us. And any time that you came back to Hawaii, You were so volatile and you carried all of this with you, no matter how many times that we talked about it. And I told you right before you had the baby, listen, I'm sorry. How many times can I cry? How many times can I tell you I'm sorry? How many times can I've paid your rent? I have done everything that I possibly can, Jocelyn. What is it that you want from me to be able to move on past this? Or are you going to hold on to this like I did my mom and keep slamming it in her face? Because I did that all the time. Up until my mom died, I reminded her of all the sex abuse. I reminded her of all the times she didn't, you know, she wasn't there to take care of me and protect me. I reminded her of all the times that she beat me, locked me in the garage overnight. Okay?
So you never let go of it?
I let go of it after my mom passed, and I realize now, and I told Jocelyn that I should have never held on to that like that.
I thought
So why didn't you
let go of it because you always bring it up.
So why didn't you let go of it?
Because I didn't know any better. I just one thing to remember it, but I didn't need to keep hammering it into my mom. My mom was hurt enough to know that it happened. Just like I'm hurt. I mean, you think that this doesn't hurt me? You need to get closure from this, Jocelyn. If you keep harboring all of this,
Would you like
not
to know
gonna
how
do
you could?
anything.
Would you like to know some things you could do to help her get closure?
Yes.
And you actually wrote to me in August of 2013.
I did.
And you said, my name is Aaliyah, and my son Andrew stabbed my mother Donna to death 15 to 17 times in December of 2012. I love my mom and my son. I lost both. I failed him. The system failed him. I myself am guilty of continuing that same cycle of abuse and blame myself for doing to my children what she did to me, indirectly causing her death. Please help us. My brother said our mom shouldn't have had kids, and I'm starting to feel the same way about myself. Please help me, my son and my daughter Jocelyn.
Yes.
So 3 years ago, you were saying then that you needed help. And one way that you can help her is to not respond to her with an attitude of defensiveness and criticism when she calls you out on the things that you know cross the line.
Okay.
Because she says this to you and you respond with 3 snaps and a head wag that communicates that you're anything but sorry. You say, I told you I was sorry. Well, that doesn't really drip with remorse.
The problem I have is the things that are not true.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but I am. I'm sorry that hurt your feelings, but that's just how it is.
Girlfriend, you got me on this show in front of all these people doing this. I would say that this is a very strong action on my part to even be here.
And later, she says, when you found out about her pregnancy, you flipped out and said something she cannot forgive.
I'm completely ashamed of this. I'm ashamed of the fact that you're not being truthful.
And me too.
Why are we here?
My mom would make my brother and I always lie to the CPS people when they came and talked to us. Her and my dad would fight, and then CPS would come and ask me and my brother if they fought, what did we see, and are we a happy family? My mother had already rehearsed with us how we were supposed to answer. If we told CPS what she wanted them to hear, we would get rewarded. If my brother and I were on different pages, we got in trouble. My mom taught me how to lie, and I had to lie to save myself from getting beat.
What do you want from your mother?
I just want her to, I don't even know. There's just so many things. Okay, if I tell her, something happened, no, that didn't happen, and da-da-da-da, and this is how it's going to be, and I'm going to be like this because you're sitting there acting like that. No, and then it goes into the past, but then she always throws things in my face. Remember when you said you didn't care about us? But I'm not saying I didn't care about you guys.
You cannot say that kind of stuff and think that I'm not going to be hurt. You're not a 5-year-old child saying,
okay, so the things that you say, and then she'll be like, okay, well, I'm the mom, and you can't treat your mom like that. How can you treat your kids like that, though?
Because I don't, look, this is not how I was raised to talk to my mom, and I don't tolerate this kind of talk from her. This is the point where I walk away and I cut myself off.
Or she usually she'll start like yelling on top of her lungs.
No.
Okay.
But how
tell
would
me
I
this.
do that when you don't even live?
You don't talk on the phone?
And so how am I going to be able to do this?
Tell me this. Tell me what, you said you don't even know. Tell me what you need from your mother that you're not getting.
I just need her, like, I just need her to be there and stop, like, acting like a child. She needs to, like, I mean, I know she's grown. She's very independent. She can handle herself. But in another way, she needs to grow up. Like, she wants me to, like, act mature.
Stop for a second. Tell me what you need from your mother that you're not getting. I'm not asking you what she needs to do in her life. I'm saying in relation to your mother, in your engagement with your mother, what do you need from her that you're not getting?
You want to tell him after you told me off and stuff and told told me how much you hated me and everything.
Positive attention.
I still flew and rearranged my schedule, and no matter how much was I crying, you annihilated me, and I still, no matter how hateful you were towards me, I still got on a plane and flew to be there for you to help you give birth to your baby. Okay,
but you almost did it
so
because I didn't want you there.
Appreciating.
I wanted you there, and you were not willing to understand.
Can you
that I don't want
appreciate any of the things that I have done for you, Jocelyn? Anything?
What?
Yeah, I am not saying I wanted you there for the baby. Thank you. So
you had 2 babies that died, and your health was at risk. You called me and told me that you were pregnant.
You didn't ask me if I had a good doctor.
I was worried about my child.
And then you told me you didn't know who to be more discussed with me or Andrew for having a baby or for murdering your mom. I'm having a baby.
This is not. Dr. Phil,
what do you need from your mother that you're not getting? At some point, you have to stop complaining and start asking for what you want. What do you want from your mother that you're not getting?
I just want, and I know it sounds like super corny, I literally just want her love. I want her positive attention. I want her to acknowledge me as my feelings.
All right. Okay. So what you want is your mother's love and your mother's positive attention. How would she have to engage you and interact with you for you to feel that you had that? And what would you have to see and hear for you to feel like a shift had happened and she was actually empathetic and taking your feelings into consideration instead of her own?
You got me on this show in front of all these people doing this. I would say that this is a very strong action on my part to even be here. This is not what I wanted to do. I almost didn't come because they messed up on my flight reservation.
Okay, but when they got you another flight, you almost still didn't come.
Hold on. Are you really not interested in hearing the answer to the questions I'm asking her?
No, I am.
It would seem to me that this is about as constructive a conversation as you people have probably had in the last 20 years. Okay, then don't interrupt it. And I'm going to let you take a break and then answer that. I'm trying to get this on a positive track here. Jocelyn says that her mom wanted nothing to do with her pregnancy. Aaliyah has a different story about that, but I want us to be very prescriptive here, very positive about what we're talking about. We'll be right back.
When I was pregnant, my mom didn't want to meet my boyfriend. She didn't think it would work out. She was very upset. She said terrible things. She was hoping that the baby would die and that I didn't have the baby so I can come running back to her like I always do because she's all that I'm ever going to have. The worst thing that my mother has ever told me was that she didn't know who to be more disgusted with, me for having a baby or my brother for murdering her mother. I wanted to choke her or punch her or just hurt her really bad. Now that the baby's born, she's being really nice, but I'm not sure how long it's gonna last.
Jocelyn contacts me and she wants something. I was helping my daughter pay for her rent for a while. I would spend about $300 to $400 a month to help her pay her bills. There were times that I paid for $700 worth of clothing for her. I feel like Jocelyn is a spoiled brat. Shortly before Jocelyn was pregnant, she borrowed money from me. After I gave her the money, she didn't want to talk to me. Did I expect her to pay me back? No. I am the only adult in her life that is going to be there for her regardless.
And I feel really bad for yelling, but it's hard to talk over you and to get anything to you unless I raise my voice to you.
Sweetheart, I'm going to tell you this. I walk away from arguments nowadays, okay? And I just don't deal with it. I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not going to have you curse at me. And you guys can laugh if you want to, but I'm sorry, but if any of your guys' kids cursed at you, it's a problem, okay? You don't curse at your parents.
Well,
bottom line,
you don't treat your kids the way that
bottom
you are
line,
acting.
You do not, no matter what happened between me and my mother, you don't curse your mother out.
You curse grandma out.
Bottom line. They're acting like a child right now.
Do you have a daughter at home?
I do. Am I a good mother to your sister?
Okay, I'll be honest. She's a great mother to my sister. Every other weekend.
I get every other weekend?
You don't get her that often. often?
Because I was traveling to California because I was working.
Okay, but it doesn't matter. Like that is, I feel like...
Dr. Phil, I was working in adult entertainment, and I had to fly to California on a regular basis. And so because I was flying back and forth, you guys grow up, okay? Sexuality is a normal part of life, okay? It's a legal job, okay? Either way, I was traveling back and forth, and so because of that, and because of what happened with Andrew, yes, I have my daughter every other weekend.
Did you have any interest in the conversation I'm having with Jocelyn about what it is that you can do to help her mend these feelings and change?
I don't believe that there's a way to, because she only hears what she wants to hear, just like what she said about me wanting her baby to die. That was not what I said.
She says when you found out about her pregnancy, you flipped out and said something she cannot forgive. She says you said, quote, "I don't know who I'm more disgusted with, you or your brother."
Like, when you say that you were upset, I picture, you know, and a normal person would picture like, hey, mom is upset, you know, the daughter's pregnant again, worried. Just be careful. Do you have a good doctor? No. It was on top yelling.
I didn't at you.
You did not. Oh my God. Okay.
I didn't yell at you. I didn't even talk to you. I text messaged you.
It was in person.
This is why I text message her, because of the yelling, and I'm not.
Because some of it just sounds so ridiculous. And then the whole thing with the system failed Andrew. The system did not fail Andrew. Andrew did what he did. Andrew deserves the sentence he got. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but I am. I'm sorry that hurt your feelings, but that's just how it is. Andrew did what he did, and you cannot keep sugarcoating that. Like, the whole, like...
How am I sugarcoating?
He killed your mom. He stabbed your mother. I'm so sorry that I'm saying this, but, like, it's not a good thing. Me having a baby and you being worried about that, and then Andrew killing grandmother, your mom, my grandmother, like, I don't... Who to be more disgusted with? Like, you could be worried for me and disgusted with Andrew. Like, I don't understand how that relates at all.
I'm ashamed of this right now. I'm completely ashamed of this. I'm ashamed of the fact that you're not being truthful. I'm ashamed of the fact that...
Then me too.
So then why do you have me here then? Why are we here? Do you want to get over it and move on, or do you want to harbor this?
I want to fix this, and I want to...
We're not going to fix it if you're doing this.
My baby.
We're not going to fix it if you're doing this.
You're not going to do this.
Well, you're telling me you're not interested in knowing what it is your daughter wants or needs from you in order to heal this relationship.
No, I am. I just don't. The way that she's talking to me, I'm not receptive to it at all.
That's a little self-righteous and sanctimonious for somebody that has done the things that you have done as a parent. It seems to me... It seems to me that you would be a little forgiving about her tone of voice, given the history here, because that tone of voice that's coming from her, I just might have some ownership in.
I haven't heard anything come out of her mouth that says what she needs from me, other than saying
No, you stopped it before you could.
Okay, Jocelyn, so I'm not a loving mother to you. I am this terrible person.
Plays this card. Well, I'm not this, and I'm just a terrible mother.
Because I haven't heard you say anything positive about me, Jocelyn. You have said absolutely nothing positive.
You stopped it before she could do it.
Okay, then I'll sit here and I'll be quiet.
Well, now I don't know.
No, hold on. Aside from all the posturing and all the defensiveness, wouldn't you really like to have an opportunity to hit the reset button and try to have a relationship with your daughter where the two of you could be each other's supporter?
That's the thing is I am. She's not admitting that. She calls and talks to me every single day. Anytime she has a problem.
Okay, you don't need to be
for you every single
day. You don't
day.
need to be.
Who is this?
I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to come back and tell you both what I think you need to do, and you'll either do it or you won't. But at least once in your life, somebody will have told you. We'll be back.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. How did this all-American athlete
I've been living on the street.
become a homeless wannabe rapper?
I'm living in this maze.
He's into rap now?
It's like a delusional daze.
He's a rapper?
I'm destined for greatness. He's eating out of garbage cans.
Does he want to get help, or is he choosing to be homeless?
Handsome and hard up.
I don't think anything needs to be changed.
Don't get defensive about it,
Of course not, my brother.
but you flashed into it pretty quick, my brother.
That's tomorrow.
What's in the urn?
My mom's ashes. I take them with me everywhere I go. We didn't have the best relationship, but this is the only way that I can take her with me, and she can't say anything. I don't know how many times I can apologize to you. I don't know how many times I can do things for you.
Just
I have
once,
supported
sincerely.
you. You want to tell him that I have? You want to tell him how many times I've cried to you and told you I was sorry?
That's like after, like when you're trying to play the victim role, though.
You can accept my apology or you don't. I'm not going to keep apologizing. If you're going to harbor this, it's going to eat you up. It ate me up, and it ruined me and my mom's relationship. Okay? My mom did the best that she could do, and that's the same thing that I did with you. I was 17 years old. I am not the same mom that I was then. I am a different mother. I don't believe in corporal punishment anymore, okay? And you know that I'm a very good mother to your sister, so please stop acting like this is the same person. I am not the same person that I was back then. If you can accept that I have grown, that would be wonderful. But I need you to accept my apology. I'm not going to keep crying over this. I'm not going to keep calling you and having you push me out of your life and tell me that I'm not worth being in your life, because it gets old and it hurts.
You tell me the same thing, so how do you think I feel?
Where am I at, Jocelyn? When you cursed me out and everything, I still got on a plane and I still came for you. Jocelyn, I'm always there for you. Where's everybody else?
All right.
Okay.
Hold on. That's 5 minutes of my life I can never get back. So let me, I'm just going to tell you both the truth. Not saying it's fair, not saying it's right, like it or not like it, I'm going to tell you how it is. If you want her to put this behind her, and by this, I mean a history of being abused, neglected, brutalized, whatever she perceives to be her experience as a child. And let me tell you, perception is reality. You may debate some of the details about what happened, but you've even acknowledged to us that most of what she says is accurate.
Sure.
There may be some little details here or there, but you've acknowledged that most of what she has reported to us, we asked you about, and you said yes.
Yes.
It was wrong, but that is an accurate accounting of what happened during that time period. And it was wrong, and I shouldn't have done it, and I'm sorry, and I've told her I'm sorry. But I'm going to tell you what it's going to take for her to put that behind her. She will never, ever, I don't care if she's 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, or 80 years old.
Right.
She will never put that behind her unless and until she believes that you fully get and understand not what you did, but what it did to her. Until she fully believes that you get, understand, appreciate, and are empathetic with what impact it had on her as a child. Until she knows you get it, that you get what it did for her to stand there and look in a mirror and have to say to herself, you are ugly, what it meant for her to have her hair cut off, what it meant for her to have the things said to her that have been said to her, until she fully understands that you get what that did to her and say that is what you are sorry for, that you are sorry for what you did to her self-worth, her self-esteem, her value as a human being. Until she believes that you totally get enough out of yourself and into her that you appreciate and understand that, she will never, ever be able to put that behind her. Ever. You can't give away what you don't have. She can't give you what she doesn't have. And in Texas, we say you got to rise above your raisin. If you're going to be in the Los Angeles area and want to watch a live taping of the Dr. Phil Show, call 323-461-PHIL or visit drphil.com. Tickets are free, and I hope to see you soon. What you need to understand is this. You want her to do that. What you have to understand is you don't need her to do that. You don't have to have that in order to be okay. You want it. Anybody would want it. Everybody wants it for you. But she may not have the capacity to give you that. It's like if you were sitting here waiting for me to give you your car keys. I don't have them. I can't give you what I don't have. She may not be able to give you what she doesn't have. You can't give away what you don't have. And if she doesn't love herself, if she doesn't have enough regard for herself, enough love for herself, you can't give away what you don't have. She can't give you what she doesn't have. And you may spend the rest of your life waiting for her to give you something that she doesn't have to give. And that would be terribly tragic. At some point, you just have to decide, you know what? That just may not be part of my existence. I can tell you, my father died when I was 45-something years old, and I was married with a family and a PhD and a huge success. Not one time in my life did that man ever tell me he was proud of me. Not one time in my life. I graduated #1 in every class I'd ever been. I was captain of every team I ever played on. Not one time did he ever tell me that he was proud of me. But you know what? I looked in the mirror and told myself I was proud of me. And I surrounded myself in my life with people that did. I married a woman that every morning I walked out that door knowing that woman was proud of me, and walked back in that door every night knowing she was proud of who I was and what I was doing. I surrounded myself with people that gave me what I needed to be okay. I gave it to myself, and I surrounded myself with people that had my best interest at heart. You have to decide that you're either going to continue this generational legacy of toxicity in a family, or you're going to decide that you chart a new course for you and your daughter. And surround yourself with people that support that. And in Texas, we say you got to rise above your raisin. And you want different, then you choose different, and you do different. Now, we have to take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to ask these two what they have to say about that. We'll be right back. Ready to get real? Go to drphil.com for advice on relationships, parenting, finances, and more. Plus, weigh in on your favorite episodes, share your stories, and find support in the Dr. Phil community. When you sign up for the community, you will automatically be subscribed to the Dr. Phil Show newsletter. Log on to drphil.com today. Okay, we just have a very few seconds. Did you want to make any final comment on anything I've said or anything that's happened here today?
I feel like, I don't know. I don't feel like this was very productive at all.
Okay, great. Thank you. Anything you wanted to say?
I feel like she's going to be really mad after this.
Okay, well, that's her choice. And
how do you feel?
You've heard what I've said, and I hope you take it and run with it. And God bless you, and I wish you the best going forward. And take care of that baby.
Thank you.
In helping you chart this new course, I want to offer to arrange some really strong professional help for you, to help you find your way, to help you chart this new course, make this new family plan, embrace these new family values, and I hope you'll really avail yourself of that. It's just a gift I would like to extend to you to help you find the constructive support that you want.
Thank you.
And I'll make those arrangements for you right away.
Thank you.
All right. I want to thank all of my guests today. If you or someone you know is dealing with a dysfunctional relationship, log on to drphil.com. Tell me about it. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.